What if one of the most powerful and celebrated heroes in your country was secretly committing horrific crimes for years? How does someone that powerful finally get brought to justice? This story is one of the most disturbing legal cases in history, the 1440 trial of Gilles de Rais. This case is a stark reminder on how power can silence victims, delay justice, and protect wrongdoing, until the system is finally forced to respond. Gilles de Rais was not a nobody. He was a wealthy French nobleman, a military commander, and a decorated hero of war. He fought alongside Joan of Arc and helped reclaim key territory. To the public, he was admired. To authorities, he was untouchable. But starting in the early 1430s, something troubling began to happen. Children, mostly poor boys between the ages of 7 and 15, started disappearing near Gilles's castle, which is shown here. Many were last seen doing ordinary things, begging for food, running errands, tending animals. Some were invited inside castle gates by servants offering food or work. They were never seen again. Parents worried. Rumors spread, but accusations against a powerful noble were dangerous. As this case shows, justice often depends not just on facts, but on who is heard and believed. For years, Gilles' wealth, military reputation, and armed guards kept serious investigations away. The victims were poor. They had no status. Their disappearances were quietly ignored. What finally triggered action wasn't the missing children, it was property. In 1440, Gilles violently seized back a castle he had sold, dragging a clergyman out of a church and imprisoning him. That clergyman had powerful allies. Suddenly, authorities were paying attention. Once officials began investigating, everything changed. Parents were invited to testify. Dozens came forward. Witness after witness told the same story. Children vanished after crossing paths with Gilles or his household. Gilles now faced two parallel legal proceedings. One was a secular trial, what we think of as a criminal case, focused on murder and kidnapping. The other was an ecclesiastical trial run by church authorities examining moral and religious wrongdoing. At first, Gilles denied the charges and challenged the court's authority. But the evidence kept building. Then came testimony from his own inner circle, servants, assistants and associates who described how the crimes were carried out over years. Faced with overwhelming testimony and the threat of torture, which was legal at the time, Gilles confessed. He admitted to years of horrific crimes he carried out in his castle and asked that his confession be made public as a warning. In October 1440, Gilles de Rais was convicted of some of the most heinous abuse imaginable and the murder of 140 or more children. Some estimates reach as high as 600 to 800 victims. According to his own confession and testimony from accomplices, his victims were often viciously abused prior to being murdered. In some cases, he also offered his victims as sacrifices to summon demons in the hope to recover money he had squandered on his lavish lifestyle. For his crimes, he was swiftly executed the next day. Nowadays, this case stands as an example of how power can be used to protect wrongdoing and how the legal systems often fail the vulnerable first. Sadly, justice sometimes begins not with morality, but with politics, pressure, or monetary disputes, such as property, as in this case. If you want more real legal stories explained, simply like and subscribe. Drop a comment with a case you'd like us to break down next.